All right, we are back this week with Eldrazi and Taxes, except instead of playing white-black, as is normally played, we are playing white-blue. So this list is basically a combination of the black-white Eldrazi and Taxes deck, but it also has some blue cards like the old blue-white Eldrazi deck did back when Eye of Ugin was still legal in Modern. So we are running Eldrazi Sky Spawner to help ramp us up to cards like Drowner of Hope, both of which are good with Eldrazi Displacer, which is a very good card even on its own, but especially in a deck where I've added additional cards with Enter the Battlefield abilities. Just going over the individual card choices, we are only running 4 Path to Exiles as non-creature spells. Everything else is a creature or a land. So this is just our interaction of choice. And the reason we are playing this is because of how well it interacts with LEONN Arbiter, which we are playing 4 copies of. And LEONN Arbiter is a mainstay in Death and Taxes builds in Modern because of its ability to turn Ghost Quarter into Strip Mine and Path to Exile into a 1-mana just get rid of anything that's causing you trouble. We are running 3 Thalia Guardians of THRABEN. I only chose to run 3 because this deck isn't all in on the Death and Taxes approach. Really, it's more of a flickering deck. So I chose just to run 3. Since she is a legendary, multiple copies are not great. At 3 mana, I'm running 1 FLICKERWISP just because it's a good flicker effect and it has a unique flicker effect in that it doesn't return the permanent immediately, and it also can target any permanent, including those of your opponent. So it can sometimes, you can use it to get rid of something that your opponent has for an entire turn, especially if you flicker it at your opponent's end step. You can get rid of a blocker or a planeswalker for the entire duration of your turn, since FLICKERWISP won't return it until the beginning of the next end step. 4 Eldrazi Displacer are really just the key core card of this deck. Almost everything wants to be flickered, and this is the best way to do it. So if you have an Eldrazi Temple out, you only need to tap 2 lands to use Eldrazi Displacer's ability. We have 4 Eldrazi Sky Spawner. As I said earlier, it's good for ramping up to Reality Smasher and Drowner of Hope. And it's also just a flyer, and it can gum up the board because it makes 2 different bodies. We are running 2 Restoration Angel, which is just a very good card. 4 mana for a 3/4 flyer with flash is right on the cusp of being very strong and modern, even without its ability. And so being able to flicker and get additional value off your cards is definitely enough to make this an inclusion in our deck, even though we are only running 2 copies. 4 Thought-Knot Seer. This is our other way to sort of interact with our opponent other than Path to Exile. We can get rid of problematic cards before our opponent has a chance to cast them. And since it exiles them for good, we don't have to worry about them getting that card back if they remove our Thought-Knot Seer, like you would with a Tidehollow Scholar or a Kitesail Freebooter or those other sorts of effects. We are only running 2 Reality Smasher. I think this card is very, very good. It has Trample, it has Haste, it's difficult for your opponent to remove, and if you have Cavern of Souls down, you can make it uncounterable, so that way it's very difficult not to get a 2-for-1 off this creature while still pressuring your opponent. The fact that Eldrazi Temple also can let you get this out sooner than turn 5 makes this a card that I really, really like. MULLDRIFTER's in here just because it can be cast at 3 mana to draw me some cards, and I wanted something to give me additional resources if I run out of gas, and MULLDRIFTER is a great way to do that. I also have 4 THRABEN Inspectors as additional ways to gain me cards, and even though I have to invest more mana in the THRABEN Inspectors, I'm running 4 of them because they can come down on turn 1 to help gum up the board. And finally, at the top of our curve, we have 2 Drowner of Hopes, who are just really powerful cards in that they can stop your opponents from attacking, they can stop blockers from blocking, and when you add in the additional scions from Eldrazi Skyspawner and generated from Flickering Drowner of Hope, you can really control how combat flows when this card is in play. The sideboard doesn't have anything too crazy in it. We have 2 Dismember just as additional creature removal in case Path to Exile is not enough. Blue does not give us a lot of options in the way of creature removal, so that's why we have to use Dismember as an option. We are running 1 Celestial Purge. This is a good answer to Blood Moon. Our deck runs a lot of non-basics, and while we do run a Island, Plains, and Wastes in case that happens, it's nice to have access to Celestial Purge to get rid of that. We have 2 Rest in Peace for graveyard decks, 2 Stony Silence for artifact decks. We're running a Selfless Spirit just because our deck has so many creatures in it. We're very weak to Wrath of God type effects. So having a Selfless Spirit can help me commit more to the board and not have to worry as much about a Damnation or Supreme Verdict coming down on 4 and ruining what I've been doing. We have 2 Core Firewalkers for burn, and we also have 3 Leyline of Sanctity, which are also good against burn, discard, storm. I've got a Gideon Ally of Zendikar as additional threat in decks where I want to side out some removal and bring in more threatening cards, like against control. I'm also playing 1 copy of Settle the Wreckage as my mass removal spell of choice. I like this card a lot because you can hold it for mana and it looks like you're just saving up for a Restoration Angel, and then it gives you the option to really blow out opponents who are only anticipating 1 flashed in blocker. Alright, we're here with our first game with blue-white Eldrazi and Taxes in Modern, and this hand looks pretty good. It's a little land heavy, but we do have THRABEN Inspector to help smooth out our draw. We have Eldrazi Temple to power out any Eldrazi we draw, and I like seeing Cavern just in case I'm running into any counter magic, so we're definitely going to be keeping this one. Another Seachrome Coast. Okay, so this looks like we're playing against humans, so this is going to be an interesting matchup. We drew our Eldrazi, but we are leading off with THRABEN Inspector. So Eldrazi Displacer is really going to be the MVP here because he can flicker these champions to reset the counters on them. He can get creatures out of combat. If he's attacking me, it can kill off phantasmal images. So I really want to play the Displacer next turn. And wow, and Path's a great draw. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and play Displacer here. And yeah, we should be in good shape. This is a good start. If we were on the play, I don't think our opponent would be able to beat us down quick enough. He is on the play though, so yeah, he can like Reflector Mage our Displacer, and he does have the tempo advantage here. Still no blocks. Thought Knot. Yeah, I like Thought Knot. It gets rid of a card in his hand if he's got another Reflector Mage, and it can block one of these champions pretty well. The question is, do I name something other than Eldrazi with this Cavern? I think I do. I think I name one of these 2 cards. I think it's going to be Cat for Cat Cleric. So let's just put this down. Let's name Cat. Because they don't have any counter magic. So not too worried about that. And I just want to be able to play this LEONN Arbiter and hold a Path if I want to next turn. Okay, yeah, so very good hand from our opponent. We kind of have to take Reflector Mage. But yeah, this is going to be very tough to beat. Double Mantis Rider means that I'm going to have to be blocking here. Yeah, Yeah, we might be just a little too slow on this one. My opponent's got a very good start. Yeah, now's the time for THRABEN Inspector to block. Restoration Angel is very, very good. It is probably still like Displacer, hold up Path, but being able to block some of his Mantis Riders is going to be very good. So I think it's, yeah, Displacer. He'll play the Mantis Rider. I will block the champion with the Thought Knot. They'll trade. I'll path the 5/5 champion and take 6 in the air. So I'm not paying life. Oh shoot! I can't play Displacer. I have to play the Cleric. So I guess I should have named Eldrazi here. Because I need white for this, but that's fine. I think this is still fine. Yep. There's the other Mantis Rider. And he has a Hierarch. Okay, that's a problem, because this makes both of these outside of the range of being able to be eaten by the Thought Knot Seer. Yeah, he definitely should not swing it with Reflector Mage. I think what happens now is I double block the 5/5 champion with these two cards. I'll lose my Thought Knot Seer, but I need to get one of these things off the board, I think. Path that. Yeah, so this just has to be Restoration Angel. If my opponent's smart, he might only swing in with one of these riders. So we can, the Exalted Trigger will let it eat a resto. Okay, this is a Kite Sail Freebooter. So he's going to see the Restoration Angel, but he won't be able to take anything. Okay, so my opponent is only swinging in with one Mantis Rider. And this is an interesting situation in that if I just flash in a Restoration Angel to block the Mantis Rider, that's, like, I'm not going to win. I will lose the next turn. I don't have anything in my deck that can let me recover from this board. So that would be playing to not lose instead of playing to win. And I think the only winning line I have here is to crack the clue and hope to get a path. So that's what I'm going to do here. Yeah, and I didn't hit. So I was just a little too slow. I think I was pretty close to stabilizing, but that's okay. We will see if we can't get them post board. We've got some good tools. Dismember's really awkward because I have to take 4. Settle's very good though. Purge is good. Can get rid of Freebooter, can get rid of Mantis Rider. What could we take out? The Smashers are a little slow. Same thing with the MULLDRIFTER. Like, I just don't think we're going to have time. So maybe it's bringing something like this for these guys. Yeah, I think this is fine. Just a little bit more interaction. LEONN Arbiter is kind of awkward since they don't really have any fetches, but I'm going to keep it in. Maybe I can, if they're land light, I can snag them with a Ghost Quarter. So I think it's better on the play than he is on the draw. So I might revisit that if I win this one. So we will play first. Oh my gosh. So this is not really a keep. 6 lands and not doing anything until turn 3 is just too slow. So we are going to mulligan. And then this hand is much better. we can go turn 1 Inspector and try to get a land for this Thought-Knot Seer on 3. So we are going to keep this. It's the Nether land, but I really want a white source. Maybe I do just name Cat with this cavern and go turn 2 Cat, turn 3 Thought-Knot. Yeah, I'll bottom it. I think I can do better. Either way, I think I'm going to start with an Eldrazi Temple. And if I draw a white source, then I don't need to name anything just yet with the cavern. Alright, we'll name Cat and get some LEONN Arbiters down. Okay, sweet. Druid Plains. I am just going to slam this Thought-Knot Seer, though. And I'll do it before he has a chance to vial anything in. Yeah. Okay, it looks like he's got something he wants to play. Is this a Dismember? Okay, so he'll get to draw the card. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm trading basically Thought-Knot Seer for Dismember, 4 of his life points, and a card in his hand. There's the champion. Yeah, Direfleet Daredevil seems like it doesn't really fit here. I guess the first strike is relevant, but yeah, I think I just take Mantis Rider. Force him to fight me on the ground. And because I can gum it up with THRABEN Inspector and LEONN Arbiter next turn. Although if he plays Reflector Mage, bouncing my LEONN Arbiter, I can't play Arbiter the following turn. I still have to take Mantis Rider. And I'm actually going to swing in with this Arbiter. I think he's going to Reflector Mage no matter what. I think what happens is he's going to play Unclaimed Territory, Reflector Mage, have Direfleet Daredevil to flash in. Like, I'm not going to block because of that reason. It's just too easy for him to turn this into a 3/3. And maybe if I swing in, he won't play Reflector Mage, but wait to flash it in with a vial next turn, allowing me to develop my board better on my turn 4. Okay, so he's playing Reflector Mage anyways. That makes sense. So, getting in for 2. Hallowed Fountain. So I'm a little off of playing this Drowner. I'm going to start by playing THRABEN Inspector and just cracking the clue immediately. If I draw a path, I might want to play this untapped. Okay, so I don't. Let's play this tapped and yield through the turn. So if I draw an untapped land, next turn I can have Drowner, which should let me stabilize. It's a very big body on the ground, and I can flicker it with the Displacer to get more tokens to keep the Restoration Angel from giving me the beatdowns in the air. All right, another champion. Okay, I guess I'm not going to block. I guess I just take 8 here. Okay, so my opponent's last card is a Restoration Angel. Okay, we drew a Restoration Angel. Okay, well, we can play a Displacer and a Cat. Displacer's good because it can really block any of these guys. So I'm expecting him to flash in a Restoration Angel, bouncing his, flickering his Reflector Mage, and bouncing my Displacer. Yeah. Okay, so he drew a 1-drop. All right, Hierarch. Yeah, just here comes the Resto, bouncing the Displacer now. Man, I think I need to double block this champion here. And then take 8. I just need to get, this thing's going to get out of control. So trading 1 creature for it while I still can, I think is the right decision. Alright, THRABEN Inspector is not what I want to see. In fact, I think that makes us dead on board because we don't have a way to deal with this Restoration Angel. So we will concede there. And that's a tough matchup. Humans is a very good deck, and we are basically playing a much weaker type of deck, which is a mid-range creature strategy. They're just a little more aggressive, have interaction like Reflector Mage that advances their board state. So I'm not surprised we were unable to take them down, but I think that the deck, I wouldn't change anything necessarily about the deck. I think I would just concede that that's not going to be a very good matchup.